Kolejny referat wygłosi pan Matthew Wood, szef firmy SCD Probiotics z Kansas City. Bardzo prosimy, panie Matthew.
Thank you. So first of all, I want to start by thanking the co-organizers of this conference, ProBiotics Polska, and the European Regional Center for Eco-Hydrology under the auspices of United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Also, I want to thank the program partner, Nature's Heritage Association. And thank you, too, to the honorary patrons, the Ministry of Economy and Agriculture Market Agency. Thank you for the cooperation of the city of Turek. There are many people who contribute to making this conference a success, especially the staff of ProBiotics Polska and SCD Probiotics. Also, this could not be done without the preparation of the presenters. Thank you for your contribution. Finally, I want to give a special thanks to my wife, Fee. She worked tirelessly for this conference and then sacrificed her participation to stay at home with our 3 young children so I could attend. She's probably watching the live stream video now. Thank you. Now, I'm going to give 3 awards. So, first of all, an award goes to the Licensee of the Year in SCD Probiotics Network, which is awarded to ProBiotics Polska, and Magdalena Gorska, if you could please come take the award. And then I have another award for the Technology Advocates of SCD Probiotics, and that is for Sławek and Staszek.
Jaki skromny, nie spieszy się do nagrody.
Your vision, passion, and relentless effort is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now, my colleagues are going to pass out something, so everybody, there's going to be bags being passed around, and there's going to be one of these in it. So don't open it. I repeat, don't open it. Just take one and pass it along. We'll come back to it in a little bit. So to begin my presentation, I want to tell a little story about how this all started for me. When I was 13 years old, my mother was diagnosed with leukemia, which is cancer of the blood. She battled against this disease for 5 years and ultimately passed away when I was 18 years old. Both of her parents, my grandparents, also passed away from cancer within a year of my mother. During this period of my life, and because of my mother's struggle, I became aware of several key factors that must come together for someone to live a healthy life. Clean air, clean water, nutritious food, and the absence of toxicity from environmental chemicals. In 1995, I moved in with my grandfather to care for him in the final months of his life. During that time, I was preparing 3 meals per day for him, so I began reading about nutrition. One book really resonated with me and opened my eyes. The book is titled Empty Harvest. And it makes the connection between quality of soil, agriculture management practices, and quality nutrition of food. Later that year, after my grandfather passed away, I was living in Costa Rica and studying soil science at Earth University. This is where I first learned about probiotics. In one instant, at a lecture about composting, I realized these microorganisms could be harnessed to help humanity to develop more sustainably, making a major contribution to meeting the need for clean air, clean water, nutritious food, and absence of toxicity. I set out to research and learn as much as I could about these amazing microbes. After a couple years of field research, I confirmed that indeed, much good could be done in the world with probiotics. Therefore, in 1998, I founded SCD Probiotics. With a great desire to harness the power of nature embodied in these microbes. I wanted to develop probiotic technology that can assist people to live healthier lives. Now, fast forward 16 years today. I am very proud to see this company blossoming, powered by cutting-edge probiotic technology, and most of all, positively impacting people's lives and making the world a better place. I can honestly say our technology has stopped suffering of many people, and this is the greatest reward. It reminds me of a recent visit to Turkey. I was walking through a leather tanning factory. This factory has adopted SCD Probiotics, Provera products, to replace some of the chemicals used in tanning leather. An elderly lady came up to me and started hugging me and crying. She proceeded to tell me how her hands and arms used to have severe rashes due to the chemicals used in her work in the factory. Now, when using probiotics, she is allergy and rash free. This is just one recent example of many stories I could tell. Now, let me proceed to talk about the theory and science behind SCD Probiotics technology. I will also show briefly some examples of product applications and results. So, as you will see during the conference over the next several days, our technology is used across a wide array of market segments and applications, including human health, animal health, agriculture, and environmental applications. We have expanded to cover much of the earth with our products being distributed in over 40 countries around the world. Now, the traditional meaning of the word probiotic, the scientific meaning, is about using beneficial microbes for humans and animals. However, what we've done with our business is expanded the scope of that concept to cover the use of beneficial microorganisms in many ways of life, in the daily home, as well as in industrial applications. Some very interesting points about microorganisms. Some estimate that there are 10 times more microbial cells inside and on our body than human cells. Now, that's possible because microbial cells are much smaller than human cells. But in terms of number, we are more microbe than we are human. Interestingly, and I believe that other presenters will speak more detail about this, but many of the microbes that exist in our environment and exist, in fact, inside our bodies, we cannot culture in the laboratory. So we know that they exist because of current genetic technology, but we actually can't grow them. So I mention this to point out the fact that there is so much we don't know. This is a very new frontier of science to understand the living microbes all around us. Now, it's very important to note that our technology is based on consortia culture technology. This means that we grow the microorganisms in association with other microorganisms. We don't grow them isolated in pure culture. Many of the microbial products that you'll find on the market, the conventional products, they're grown in what is called pure culture. That means that one organism is grown in a sterile environment without being associated with other species. In fact, in nature, this never occurs. So in nature, you will never find one species living by its without being with other species. So in fact, these products that are pure cultures, they have some use, but the use is very limited by the fact that they are grown in pure culture. Whereas our technology is combining many species of microorganisms from different groups together in a consortia technology. Now I want to talk a little bit about the difference of probiotics versus pathogens. Pathogens cause disease. Pathogens, one of the main ways, or the way that they cause disease is by producing substances that are oxidative and damaging to plant and animal cells. So if you have a disease-causing microbe, say for example an infection on your body will create a rash and inflammation, and that is the body's response actually to the oxidative compounds produced by those pathogens. So that's the function, that's the way that the pathogens cause damage to plants and animals, is by what they produce, what they excrete. On the other hand, probiotics produce the building blocks of healthy cells in plants and animals. Probiotics produce things like vitamins, antioxidants, amino acids, organic acids, many other types of compounds that we're only just beginning to discover. Mr. Kolbush, in his presentation, just mentioned a little bit about the theory, which was developed by my professor and mentor, Dr. Tito Ohiga. And this is the leader versus follower theory. And the idea is that in the microbial world, there are so many thousands and thousands of microorganisms, and we can't even culture all of them. So we actually haven't identified all of the microbes. We've only identified a small percentage. But there are things that we can observe in terms of the patterns of what causes disease and what is present when there is good health. So, according to this theory, the vast majority of microbes are followers, and they follow a few key types of microorganisms that are the leaders. And if you imagine these different types of microbes, if you have most of the microbes are followers, they're neutral. And there's a small percentage of microbes that are pathogens and a small percentage that are probiotics. Now what happens is, if this system gets out of balance, say for example, some of these pathogens become in higher populations, then all of these neutral microbes will actually change their metabolism and become pathogenic, will become disease-causing in the body of the animal, the human, the plant. So essentially what we're doing with our technology is we are augmenting these beneficial microorganisms here. We are growing them and introducing them into these systems. And what you'll see over the next 2 days, and if you work with probiotics, what you'll see is that there's the reason why there are so many applications of this technology is because this dynamic, this system is occurring inside our bodies, inside the bodies of animals, in the soil, on the phytosphere, or covering the leaves of plants. This system is occurring across our entire world. And so therefore, understanding how it works and using probiotics to shift the balance so that this neutral goes to the good side and there is health. That's the core of what we're doing. Here's a simple example, and I use this example in almost all my presentations. I did this, in 1996 or 1997, quite a while ago. And basically what you see here is a fungal pathogen. Now this is a fungus that causes disease on golf courses, okay? And basically what we did here is we grew the fungus and we put it in the middle of each of these 3 petri dishes. Now in this control petri dish, we only put the fungus, the disease-causing fungus. In this petri dish, we put benlate, which is a very toxic fungicide, which is now being banned in Europe and the United States. And in this, we put our consortia of probiotics. Now what you find is in the control, the disease fungus grew without any restriction, without any, it just kept growing and growing, as you can see here. Now, of course, with the toxic, very toxic chemical, it died. But everything would die in that case of the toxic chemical. Now, with our product, what happened was this fungus still exists. It's still there, but it didn't grow into a high population. And that is actually the core of what we are doing. It's not the presence of a pathogen that causes disease. It's when that pathogen grows into high population that you get disease. So I like to tell the example that all of us right now absolutely have pathogen disease organisms in our digestive system. Some famous ones that we all know, E. coli, Salmonella, we have those organisms inside our digestive system now. But we're not sick because they're in balance with many, many other microbes, including enough beneficial microorganisms. So, as I mentioned, we've been doing research and development in this technology field for 16 years. And we've developed our technology to have a number of values that it offers. One is very long shelf life, and this shelf life in a liquid culture is unheard of in the industry. The reason why all the other probiotic products are pills and powders, because they're pure culture technology, and you can't get them in a shelf-stable form without drying them. Our products do not require refrigeration, and they perform in very extreme ranges of temperature and pH. A fundamental principle in our values is that we work with natural technology. I'm sure many of you have heard about the science of genetically engineering and modifying. We do not use this technology. All of our microorganisms, and in fact the consortia cultures, we find from nature. And of course, in the end, there is nothing more important than quality. The fact that our products have the same quality and consistency every time, and people know what they're buying and they know what they're using, is a fundamental principle that is throughout our business. So a little bit more about consortia technology. I've already mentioned that pure culture only exists in the laboratory. It never exists in nature. And every niche in the environment, on our bodies, inside our bodies, in our homes, in the soil, it's teeming with life. There are thousands and thousands of microorganisms. These microorganisms are interacting with each other. They're competing with each other. They're feeding each other. They're exchanging DNA with each other. So again, pure cultures are only grown in the lab. They have very limited genetic diversity, and they're more vulnerable in the real world. Whereas consortia probiotics are grown in multi-groups. They're very genetically diverse, and they're very resilient in the real world. So this technology, therefore, is applicable across human health, animal health, food production, agricultural biotechnology, soil remediation, oil spills treatment, waste treatment. And therefore, we have developed many products which are being commercialized through our licensing network around the world. We've also conducted many research studies, many field studies. So I invite you to visit our website. We have 186 scientific reports available on our website in the areas of agriculture, environment, livestock, home and garden, human and health, and companion animals. Now, remember this? Everybody has one? Okay, here's what we're going to do. First of all, you don't have to do this, but what's inside is a probiotic. Don't open it yet. It's a probiotic with B vitamins, lemon flavor. The flavor is all natural extract. Everything is natural, which is part of how we work. So, what you do, first you twist it like you're screwing it in, like you're closing it. So you twist it to the right. Now you can do this with me if you want to try it. You close it. Don't open it, close it. So you twist it so it closes. Go all the way down until you can't turn it anymore. See? Okay? And then you shake it. And then you can open it and you can drink it. This is just for fun. This is one of our new innovative products, way to bring more probiotics to people of all walks of life. So, as I tend to do, I have way more slides than I can actually go through. So I'm going to run through a few. BioClean is a product that we use for treating wastewater and environmental remediation. It's manufactured by a number of our licensees around the world. And the applications are very simple. For example, it can be applied in wastewater treatment, environmental remediation, waste treatment. In terms of our technology for agriculture, our technology is proven to increase germination, increase flowering, increase foliar growth, increase fruit yields, increase root development, increase vitamin and antioxidant content of plants. In the soil, it increases nitrogen availability by up to 3 times. It produces faster decomposition of plant residue and organic matter so that can cycle back into the nutrients. Faster decomposition of contaminants and chemical residues. Inhibits negative microorganisms and pathogens. Decreases fungal and bacterial disease. These are examples of our technology in agriculture. In livestock, it can be used for a holistic management of the livestock ecosystem, controlling pathogens. Here's one example from a visit that I went to Colombia, South America. This is our product called bio-livestock inside. And this is a drench method for drenching the teat of a dairy cow. So after milking the cow, they put this device up and they drench it. Basically, they cover the teat with beneficial microorganisms, and this is done to control mastitis, which is a common pathogen. I'm afraid I'm out of time. Here they are applying over the tops of the animals. It helps to reduce flies and also other types of fungal and bacterial diseases on the animal. Our odor control technology for controlling odors in livestock operations or in waste treatment operations. This is all about composting and recycling of organic material back into the environment. This is a waste transfer area for the city of Guatemala City in Guatemala. They use our product on all of this organic waste. These are all compost piles that use our product for controlling odor, for accelerating the rate of the composting process, and producing a higher quality compost. This is data that shows...
Thank you.
Yes, okay. I'll stop now. Thank you very much.